In this clip, you're going to see me interacting with a 3-month-old golden doodle puppy named Toby. I'm going to be narrating for you during the video so you can have a clear understanding of what and why I'm doing what I'm doing as I'm interacting with this puppy. During our play session, I am teaching him not to put his mouth on me at all. You will see me gently correcting the puppy by squeezing down on his muzzle anytime he puts his mouth on me. I'm not squeezing hard enough to hurt the puppy, but I am squeezing hard enough to show the puppy that I don't appreciate him putting his mouth or his teeth on me. It's really important that when you're playing with a puppy this age, you don't do anything that instigates the biting. Things that instigate biting would include touching the puppy's face, purposefully grabbing his collar, prolonging any agitation near his head. I really try to focus on touching the puppy's body. What you're going to see now is that I take the puppy immediately from play as he's over aroused and trying to bite me, and we're going to do a little relaxation exercise. So in order to do this, I'm just going to hold the puppy in my lap, and I will correct him a couple times for attempting to bite me. Now again, I'm not hurting the puppy, although I am being quite firm with him in the way that I'm restraining him. But he does need to learn, while he is this young, that sometimes people are going to handle you. They might handle you a little roughly, but it's okay. They're not going to hurt you. You need to learn to tolerate it, and you have nothing to be afraid of. When the puppy is being calm, you will see me rewarding the puppy by stroking him calmly with very slow, wide movements. Right now he's disagreeing with the fact that I'm touching his face, so you're going to see me correct him. He's then going to try to move. As soon as he goes back to being calm, I am stroking his face and touching him again to desensitize him to being handled. You'll notice also that every time the puppy tries to get up, I do just quickly readjust and put the puppy kind of back in a restrained position on my lap. Again, this is so that I raise a dog who tolerates being handled by people, has no fear of people being handled, but also knows that it's inappropriate for him to try to struggle or put his mouth on me during the process. So right now I'm just stroking the puppy, trying to help him understand that whether I'm examining him or kissing him or petting him, he does have to hold still for me. As soon as he holds still for just a couple seconds and I'm satisfied with the job he did, I go ahead and give the puppy the command, okay, go play, or okay, go, and we immediately go back to play. You'll notice that during my play session with the puppy, I am dragging the toy along the floor. That is strategic because I want the puppy to stay focused on his toy, looking down at the floor, as opposed to lunging at me or jumping at me or trying to bite my hands. So I'm trying to encourage him to bring the toy back to me, although he's convinced he's going to do his own thing. So I just continue playing with him, which he's enjoying very much. You might even see me push him a little bit on his rear end, and that's just to instigate him and have fun. Dogs kind of like some of that pushing playfulness that they might do with another dog. But again, it's nothing overly firm. Now, here's a really great part of the video because you'll notice that I suddenly just grabbed Toby. I very quickly lift him up and I've wished him away outside. He was just about to squat on that black carpet that you see, and I literally caught him just in time. He maybe got one drop of pee out, but because I was highly supervising my puppy, I was able to very quickly grab my puppy, secure my puppy, and take him out to the appropriate area, where he then immediately peed on the grass. I praised him, told him what a good puppy was. We walked to the other room so not only I could give him a treat for a job well done, but also get a paper towel just to blot up a little bit of the couple drops of urine that he was able to get out on this carpet. So because I already had this semi-damp paper towel in my hand from the water I put on it in the sink, I'm going to go ahead and use this paper towel as an opportunity to teach Toby that he's not allowed to be messing with paper products. This is actually something that a lot of dog owners struggle with. They complain that their dogs steal items or take papers. So you will see me correcting Toby by just doing a firm but fair collar grab every time he tries to grab the paper. And again, I'm not hurting the puppy. My intention is just to startle him. So the correction does have to be really quick and swift. Again, always firm but fair. I don't want to do anything that traumatizes him or overly hurts him. And as you can see, he has not been so affected by this that he is afraid of me or doesn't want to play. He does need a little bit of work on his retrieval skills, bringing the toy back to me, but he's definitely not moved away from me because he's afraid of me. He's just moved away because he's trying to get me to chase him or play with the toy. So I went back to the other room, I got the toy, and now we're continuing our play session again. So This is exactly what a appropriate play session looks like with a puppy this age. Again, Toby is a 3-month-old golden doodle puppy from Moss Creek Golden Doodles in Central Florida. They are fantastic breeders, and I get a lot of their puppies. I'm always very, very pleased with the puppies that they have and their temperaments, their playfulness, and overall intelligence. So now I'm playing tug with Toby, which again is an appropriate game to play with your puppy, as long as it's not too long of a game of tug. I'm interchanging between playing tug with him and throwing the toy, encouraging him to come back to me by clapping my hands or patting the floor. And during the entire play session, I am being very vigilant to watch if he might need to go to the bathroom. You'll see that I very quickly kind of got up and ran that way because I had an indication that maybe he might have still needed to pee, or maybe was considering posturing in the house to have a bowel movement. So I did quickly go ahead and hustle to go chase him and make sure he wasn't being naughty in the other room. So there I go again with my caught puppy back outside into the grassed area, just to make sure that he does have an empty bladder and didn't need to have a bowel movement. So you'll see me return pretty quickly because the puppy didn't have to do anything, but that is the most important part of house training a puppy or training a puppy. It is a constant supervision of your puppy to make sure that they don't have any mistakes. And if they do have a mistake, you're right there to say something about it and correct them, be loud, quickly pick them up, tell them no, so that they really learn the difference between right and wrong as far as the house training process is concerned. So although I want to try to be as proactive as possible, I can't always do that. Sometimes my puppy is going to have slip-ups during the house training process, and it's just important that my timing be really good so that I can get to the puppy quickly and disagree with the behavior. If I do catch him posturing or starting to tinkle on the carpet, I can very quickly get there and correct him and tell him that that's inappropriate. Now, when I take him outside, we're all happy and smiles and praise. I would never continue to be upset with the puppy once he's outside in the appropriate toilet area. So here I go again, going back to playing with Toby, and from start to finish, you are seeing our entire play/training session. It's only about maybe 13 minutes long. I just cropped out a little bit at the beginning when I was starting the camera and a little bit at the end. You'll see he's already starting to wear out, so it doesn't take that long to have a productive play session with your puppy, and this is something that should be done multiple times a day. Raising a puppy is a full-time job, and it takes a lot of diligence and supervision to do it right. So again, he tried to grab the paper, so I went ahead and just grabbed his collar, told him no, corrected him, and put my paper back in the position it was in. That's actually, for me, a critical component of teaching the puppy to ignore objects that we want him to be neutral or to avoid. I'm all for puppy-proofing a house, don't get me wrong, but puppy-proofing is for when you can't directly supervise your dog. I actually like to give puppies the opportunity to learn to avoid objects that I don't want them to have. So for the duration of the session, I did keep that paper towel out as a temptation because I need my puppy to learn to choose his toy over the paper towel. So here I go again after Mr. Naughty Puppy, wondering where he's going because he shouldn't be wandering off too far away. So I've gone to collect him. We've come back to our play area again, and now I'm going to go ahead and do another round of our restraint exercise. So like I did before, I'm not trying to pin the puppy to the floor, which can be very intimidating to the puppy, so you will notice that I am trying to keep his head up, maybe propped on me where he feels a little more comfortable while I do the restraint exercise. A lot of people, again, are way too aggressive with their puppies when they do this. They maybe have read literature about alpha rolling and how you have to exert your dominance over the puppy. And none of that is the case when I'm practicing a restraint exercise. This is not about me being the alpha dog or the top dog or showing my puppy who's boss. Although I do need to be firm with my puppy and restraining him so that he can't wiggle and go away, I'm not trying to show him he's boss. I'm trying to show him that he can trust me because I'm not going to hurt him. I should be able to touch his face and touch his legs and touch his mouth. And as you'll see right then, Toby really does need a lot of work on handling on the face and handling in the mouth. He seems to be very anxious about that. And so that's something that I will continue to work on with this puppy so that he is not fearful of being handled in the face or resentful of being handled in the face, because I would not want him as an adult dog to try to snap at someone or bite maybe a vet or a groomer because he disagrees with having his face handled. This is a breed that's going to need grooming throughout his lifetime, so he needs to learn to get comfortable with these kind of things. So again, you'll notice that you know, in the video, I'm not screaming or shouting at him. I might tell him no occasionally, but nothing that's gonna really like over intimidate or you know, or scare my puppy so much that he doesn't trust me or he doesn't want to interact with me. So again, it's a balance, and I do need to get the puppy to learn to tolerate the handling to a certain extent. So you do see me continue to restrain him despite the fact that that he wants to get away. So he decided he was finally gonna lay down flat and make himself more comfortable. So I readjusted my camera and decided to continue my handling exercise with him flat on the floor. So you'll see here towards the very end of the clip, he's starting to handle a little bit more touching of the mouth and looking at the teeth, and I'm very pleased with the job that he does here at the last repetition. And it's at that moment that he's holding perfectly still and lets me look at his mouth one last time that I decide to release him for good behavior. So I hope you enjoyed the video and the narration and learned a little bit about what it's like to have a productive play/training session with your puppy. Thanks so much. I'm Dee, the Doggy Training Diva from Miami, Florida.